Alright, yo, what's up guys, Mavius and now here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to get better at Funky Friday. So, if you want to start hitting more notes, get more accuracy, get more points, I know I'm kind of broke right now, but you can also get some more wins. So, let's begin. Alright, so the first thing I'd recommend doing is doing your settings. So, do not go and copy other people's settings, because most of the times they'll just have settings that they're comfortable with, and then it will make you play even worse. So don't copy my settings, but there are some settings that I'd actually recommend turning on, and also some that are just for you. Alright, so first thing we're gonna go over is, and these we don't have to worry about. These are just things that you want to turn on, and these properties right here, the toggle spectate, toggle materials, shadows, props, movement, camera movement, that doesn't really matter. It's just to reduce some lag, and if you want to make your game play more smoother. So I have them all turned off, and I don't like the camera movement, so I turned it off. The info bar, which displays your accuracy, misses, and combos while playing. But you don't have to turn this on, but I highly recommend turning it on so you know how you're doing. And the opponent's info bar, so you can check how good they're playing. And hide players off stages. Alright, so this one's actually kind of helpful, because sometimes while you're playing, people will try and go in front of your notes, and that'll really distract you. So then with hide players off stage, it'll basically remove them off the gameplay. So I'd highly recommend turning it on. Arrow speed, that was a voice crack there. I'd recommend highly turning it to the default, the number 1, because then it just doesn't go too fast but also not too slow. But if you want to have fast gameplay, knock yourself out, I guess. And the arrow size, it'll basically just show how big your arrows are, and I would I would put it to like 0.85 to 0.75, but I recommend using 0.85, because basically if we go into a quick game here, I'll just choose any song real quick. Right, so I went into a basic song. It doesn't matter what animation pack you have, you can use whichever one you want.
3, 2, 1,
so, I have a quick and easy song. Actually, the notes are very small now. So, that will be very helpful. So let's move on. Alright, next we have the scroll underlay transparency. This will basically show a little box under your notes, and I put it to 0.5, so it's like semi-transparent, but also not that, not like invisible, but also not like fully. So you can still see the background a bit, but you can also see your notes. So basically, if you have like light notes, but there's a bunch of light everywhere, it'll be very useful. But if you're using like very, very dark notes, then I'd highly recommend turning it off, because then you can see your notes better. So middle scroll and opponent's arrows for middle scroll. Middle scroll is basically, if you can't play on one side, then you'll basically just get used to the middle, and then no matter what place you go, it'll also just stay there. So it's very useful, but I don't use it. Alright, down scroll. This is actually very important. Most players, or most pro players, play with down scroll. So basically, why I'd recommend turning down scroll to, or up scroll to down scroll, is because up scroll you'll see it go like this, but mostly people look down. So I'd recommend turning on down scroll, because if I play with up scroll right now, you'll see I'm extremely bad. Alright, so as you can see, I have turned on up scroll right now. there's also a couple of bugs, I guess. So as you see, this becomes way harder, but if you're an up scroll user and you like up scroll, then knock yourself out with playing up scroll, I guess. But I always turn it to down scroll because it makes me play better, because yeah. And so I'd highly recommend turning it to down scroll, but if you like up scroll, then play with up scroll, I guess. Arrow application. View opponent's arrow colors. So you basically see the opponent's arrow colors. It doesn't really matter what you do. It could be any color you want. But I have it on, but you could turn it off if you want. An arrow style replication, because they recently added arrow styles where you can have circular or default. I always use the default one because I'm used to the arrows, but I'm also not bad with the circular, but I like playing with the default. So if you want to see opponent's arrow style, then do that. And color hit accuracy indicators enables color on hit accuracy indicators. I don't really know, I just turned that one on. And miss note sounds, I turned it off. And hit note sounds is 0.5. Hit sound time position is 0, because I basically didn't have it on. Now the arrow fade and pressed arrow glowed, that doesn't really matter, you can have that whatever you want. Arrow glow speed is 1, but whatever. But lane offset, here, this is actually one that's very important. So basically, if you're a player that likes to put your notes a bit further away, so basically you have like colors of every note the same, you could turn that to like -20, -25. That's what I did, but you could keep it to 0, and then it'll just be the normal lane offset. But I like using the where is it, the -25. Alright, here are the keybinds. Now this is extremely important because most people play with W or A and S, D and S, right? That's up. So W is up, A is left, S is down, and D is right. Alright, so this is the default ASWD, but that is extremely close to each other, so you have a higher chance of actually hitting another note. So what I recommend is putting it to like a keybinds that are a bit away from each other. So for example, D, F, J, K, which is basically further away. So you have 2 fingers to control. I know most people don't like it, but I would recommend using notes or keybinds that are a bit away from each other, like 2 keys away from each other, so you have like so it'll basically make you play better, trust me. And if it doesn't, keep it to WASD, or you can do A, S, arrow key up, and arrow key down. So basically this is so you basically have A, S, the key to go up, of course. This is basically the arrow keys. So you have up and down, or up and right. I really did not plan this video out, I just went for it. And it's also very away from each other, so but I always use the X, comma, period. Alright, so here's the arrow colors. You can put this to normal, but I like to keep it these. These colors are very smooth for me, and I really like these colors. If you want to copy my colors, go ahead, knock yourself out. But you can also just choose your arrow color And our arrow offset, always put it to 0 because offsets are basically like a little cooldown. So basically, if you like keep on pressing, then it'll like stop like a second and then go on to the next one. So it's easier to miss then. So it's basically the a way that like a little cooldown. Yeah, that's what I said again. And so basically, how many times you want to stop the notes for a second. But I always put it to 0. Don't put it to minus or anything because that'll just stop it a bit. So I'd recommend putting it to 0. So now we did everything. So that's basically all the settings. I explained all the settings in 10 minutes. Alright, so now it's on for the gameplay. Alright, so what I'd recommend is doing easy songs and going up to harder songs the whole time. So you keep on practicing every day. It doesn't matter if you lose, if you win, it doesn't matter at all. It's kind of dark in my room, so let me turn on my lights. So basically, if we quickly, I'd recommend doing solo mode so you don't have a challenge. So I'd recommend starting with like happy songs, maybe like Meow, maybe a bit hard, or the Monica, or you can do Monster Cat songs. So let's go into Meow for a second. This is a difficult song, but also not a hard one. So, and I also recommend using an FPS unlocker so you have more FPS, so you see the notes a bit better. So as you can see, kinda rusty today, so I might miss it a couple of times. So as you can see, I play good, but you might not like do good in the song. Well, let's just go to easy songs, just like normal FNF songs, maybe like let's say MILF or something, or Mother in this case. The song Mother. This is a difficult song, but also not too difficult. So I'd recommend like doing some of these songs, and if you could, and if you're too good at these songs, you could choose another one that isn't that hard. But also, if you just want a random song, just don't select anything, and it'll just choose a random one. And looks like it's not loading. Never mind, it did. So, as you see, this isn't difficult. This is only pretty easy. This is extremely easy, for me at least. So, I'd recommend playing songs like these, and then work your way up. But if the song you chose for your working way up, choose another one that's a bit easier. So keep on practicing is what I'm telling you to do. There's no real way to be good at it. It's mostly just find your own way to become good at the game. So this is basically all up to you, but I'm giving you a little help. You can choose a place you prefer to play. I used to always love playing it at the train tracks, but now that the maps changed, there's actually my favorite place is right here to play, or right here, or up here, right here, or by right here. This is a stage. Yes, it is. We found that out. Me and my friend found that out right when the game released, or the new map released. We found out you could play here, and so basically find a place where you like to play and just keep on practicing. So every day you just need to play like 5 songs, and then you're all good. and just repeat that every single day. And so, and then yeah, good luck on being a very good Funky Friday player. It just takes a bit of practice. This basically with any rhythm game like Robeats or I'd say Osu. Osu. And so, if you just do all the things I said, maybe rewatch this video a couple of times, and then you could be very good at the game. I prefer this place too, but yeah. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.